This is nuts. Hey everyone, it is Saturday, May 21st. The time right now is 12:37 p.m. and the temperature is an extremely nice 26 degrees Celsius. And I'm down here at Harbour Square Park. And there's a look south over Lake Ontario, and those would be the Toronto Islands off in the distance. And for this one, I'm just going to head east along the waterfront, and then I'm going to head south when I get to where the Jack Layton Ferry Terminal is. And that'll be coming up in just a few short minutes. And then I'm going to make my way over to Yonge Street and walk north up to Dundas Square, where Ribfest is taking place. And Harbour Square Park is divided into two sections, this one being Harbour Square Park East. And just over there is Harbour Square Park West. And the Toronto Island Airport is off in the distance. I'd say this weather is just about perfect. There's a nice breeze. And you don't really have to worry about the sun burning you to a crisp, as there's plenty of cloud cover. There goes a yellow water taxi off in the distance. And that would be a Porter Airlines jet approaching the island airport. There's a helicopter. Can't see if I have that in the shot or not. There goes another water taxi. There's another plane making its approach. And just in on the right here is the Jack Layton Ferry Terminal. It was previously known as the Toronto Island Ferry Docks. It was renamed in honor of the late Jack Layton in 2013. He was a Toronto City Councillor and Member of Parliament. And you could take a ferry here out to one of the 3 island ports. I think during the pandemic you had to reserve your tickets online, but that's no longer the case. You can now buy them just on your way in. It's also a great spot to take your bike. There's a statue of Jack Layton riding a bike. The ferry terminal has been here since 1972. This is not the original location. It's been in 2 spots prior to this. The original one was north of here at Bay and Harbour Street. And yes, that is a few blocks north of here. This is all reclaimed land that I'm currently walking on. This here is the foot of Bay Street. That'll take you straight up into the financial district. I just want to grab a look north at Bay. I'll be heading east along Queens Quay West here for a block. There's the Weston Harbour Castle. And that is a 4-star hotel. And I think for the weekend, a room will set you back somewhere around $400 plus taxes and fees. And this is the foot of Yonge Street coming up, so I'll be turning north here. And unfortunately, in the other direction, the multi-use trail here is ripped up and undergoing construction. Seems like rather poor timing to do that. They had all winter, but they waited until the weather got nice. So if you're cycling across the waterfront downtown, you're definitely going to run into some obstacles. There's a water taxi returning. So the way these work is you pay your fare and you hop on the water taxi, and that takes you out to the islands. But then you have to come back on one of the public ferry terminals, or one of the public ferries, through the public ferry terminals. That return trip is included with your cost of the private water taxi. This one here is $12 per passenger, so it's a little more expensive than taking the public ferry. I recommend trying it. It's pretty neat, and you get to support a local business. And there's a look north up Yonge Street. I think this walk is about 2 kilometers in total or so to get from Harbour Square Park up to Dundas Square, where Ribfest is taking place. I didn't even know Ribfest was occurring this weekend until I walked past it on a video I was recording yesterday. So I thought I'd incorporate it into today's video. And this is Queens Quay East off in that direction. And I am loving these new vets. And here's something curious. A marked bike lane on the south part of Yonge Street.
Oh yeah.
And just on the right here is the old Toronto Star building. That's being incorporated into a new complex being built. There's a heritage plaque commemorating Yonge Street. This one on the right is the Pinnacle development. That consists of 3 towers, one just over 1,000 feet tall, another of 865 feet, and another of 712 feet, being, I think, 95, 80, and 65 stories respectively. And this is the first phase going up here. And originally, I think the Toronto Star building here was to be reclad and have its height extended, but I think that part of the project has been scaled back. And I think this here will be the site of the tallest residential building in Canada. According to the developer, there'll be a path connection, so it'll be connected to the South Core path. So you could conceivably walk indoors from here at Pinnacle 1 to any of the major towers in the financial district. Apparently this area has a 100 out of 100 transit score.
Yeah, this is easy. Like, you can go 100.
Although you're a bit of a walk to the subway station, as well as the nearby Queens Quay streetcar terminal. And they describe it as a new landmark tower that will transform Toronto's skyline. There'll be 50,000 square feet of community center space, complete with a 6-lane swimming pool and gymnasium. There'll be 250 hotel rooms with a meeting space and ballroom, 2,500 residential units, 1.5 million square feet of office space, and 80,000 square feet of indoor and outdoor residential amenities, and 2.5 acres for a park that will be located on that property, and 160,000 square feet of retail space. So the centerpiece will be called Sky Tower, and that'll be competing with One Bloor West as the tallest building in the city, and for that matter, the entire country. and those two projects are having a bit of a height war. Although One Bloor West is now above grade. And I think there was a union construction member strike that has delayed construction of the Sky Tower a bit. It is still below grade. So this tower will be joined by two more, including a super tall. Super tall is being towers over 1,000 feet or 300 meters. Something Toronto only has one of right now, which is surprising given the number of skyscrapers in the city. But there's our lone super tall. It's the CN Tower peeking out through the South Core district. And now we head under the Gardiner Expressway. And this is Lakeshore Boulevard. He's recording something. There's the financial district. And that building in the center is One King West. I was there a week ago recording a video. And yesterday I was at the Ritz-Carlton. And now we're heading under the rail corridor. So just to the west of here is Union Station. So Ribfest is open from 12 p.m. to 11 p.m. today. And it is running from Friday to Sunday. Friday was country night. Saturday is called Rock the Park. And Sunday's theme is Mash Up and Ribs. Man, the skies are turning gray. More so than before. Alexa told me on my way out that I was to expect thunderstorms today. But I checked an hourly forecast and it didn't say anything would be coming before 5 or 6 p.m., so I thought I'd be fairly safe. And there's a look east along the Esplanade into the St. Lawrence neighborhood. And there's where the old bus terminal used to be. He just said, let's take Yonge all the way down, but I think he meant up as we are walking north. Not true north, as the Toronto street grid downtown is on a bit of an angle, but north enough. And there's the Hockey Hall of Fame, and this here would be Front Street. There's the former O'Keefe Center, now known as Meridian Hall.
My sister's working at Amsterdam.
And these skies are looking ominous. I'm gonna have to recheck that hourly forecast. I was thinking maybe I'd hop on the e-scooter and do a live stream downtown after this, but that is seeming less likely. And I didn't even bring an umbrella with me. So this is north up the east side of Yonge, and on the left is the financial district. That's where Movenpick Marché used to be. On the right is the St. Lawrence neighborhood. There goes another nice bet. The Casablanca Tobacconist, Toronto's largest walk-in humidor. Also, cigar fans would be pleased to know you can get legitimate Cuban cigars in the city. We don't have an embargo with Cuba. There's the old bank tower, which is part of One King West. It's one of the original high-rises in the city at 12 stories tall. And the added hotel and condo looming above it. And here is King Street. I would be shocked if it doesn't start pouring rain at some point in the near future. So the next street north of here is Adelaide Street. And at some point in the early 70s, I think 1971, the city tried turning Yonge Street to a pedestrian mall for 4 blocks north of Adelaide Street. And they tried doing that on a few occasions. And it was wildly successful. But ultimately, the city ended up abandoning that. I think that's just the nature of being in a car-centric time. And there's a look into Craft. you'll see a lot of Blue Jays jerseys out today. I think they're playing the Reds at 3 p.m. So a lot of people are downtown early. And one of the big opponents of that pedestrian mall was a department store just up here on the left, which was, I think at the time, a Simpsons. Although last year, City Council voted to make part of Yonge Street more cyclist and pedestrian friendly, I think between Queen Street, which is coming up, north up to Carlton Street. Why they just didn't cover the entire downtown stretch is beyond me. And construction on that will begin at the end of next year. And I think City Council voted overwhelmingly in favor of it. I think it was around 21-5. The big opponent was the Eaton Center, the large shopping mall, saying it would restrict vehicle access to the mall. And the 5 councillors voting against it were primarily suburban councillors, looking out for the best interests of those who drive into the city from the suburbs. I would say the balance is heavily in favor of automobiles, especially for a city like this. It's quite embarrassing to see a lack of bike lanes on Yonge Street when you compare it to something like Broadway in New York and other major cities. As I ramble on, the rain has come. As has the extreme wind. There is debris flying into my eyeballs. We'd get to see Ribfest in its full glory. But I don't think that's going to be the case. There's some outdoor live entertainment. I'm not sure how many people are going to want to stick around. Really, this is so windy, I don't think I would record in this even if I had an umbrella. The umbrella's not going to do much to protect the camera with such a strong wind blowing rain right into the camera lens. And here is where Queen Station is. Well, I'm going to try to soldier on and make it up to Yonge and Dundas. I'm now shielding my camera with my bare hand. There it is. Just gonna make sure the lens isn't covered in water. Yeah, looks pretty good. It's only 2 blocks to go. I could chicken out and duck into Queen Station here. There's a look east along Shooter Street. Hopefully this camera isn't a sacrificial lamb. It is not water resistant.
好大雨啊！你入去 shopper 先啦。係啊，超大雨啊！黐線，我已經濕濕。我啱啱頭先我行過嚟咯，我差啲俾天吹死啊！而家好大雨啊！
Bet a lot of people saw that it was 26 degrees. Thought maybe this is a nice day to head down to the lake. And just as they're arriving, this breaks out. There's Popeyes. And we've arrived at Dundas Square, where apparently we can order some ribs and eat them outside. Whew, that's pouring. You get some churros, Tiny Tom's Donuts. It looks like some of these other vendors here have at least temporarily closed up. This is bad news for these people. They make all this effort to set up deep fried Mars bars. Kettle corn, roasted corn on the cob, slushies, Kentucky ribs. Big Hank's Barbecue Shack. And there's the live music stage, sponsored by Edge 102. Although right here we have Z1035. And there's the outdoor eating area. And this is nuts. And that just about sums it up for reaction. I'm certainly wet, and I think the camera's probably a bit hazy. All right, I was gonna stay here and grab some lunch before heading back up. So I'm gonna figure out what to do, but I hope you enjoyed this walk. Hey, my controls on my camera have disappeared. Maybe the water has affected it. Hope you enjoyed this walk from the waterfront along Queens Quay over to Yonge Street and then north up to Ribfest at Dundas Square. If you wish to support the channel, there's links to Patreon and YouTube channel membership in the description. And I have an Instagram account at Johnny Strides. And there's also now a super thanks button. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will catch you on the next one.
Can you get off of that, please? Don't be back in the station, hon. Goodbye. Thank you.